No.
I structured the likeness and brightness of my journey. Handpicked the atmosphere, blasted off mornings like this with the low fog sets in my conscious. Travel rings guidance. Spectrum astonished, the eighth inducing depthness, west non-believers. Even the driest of poets turn receivers for he who knows not the realms in which we occupy. Earth, the galaxies, universe, the most high, alive and outside. Respect for living things, all cycles of nature. Down to
graffiti, that's just life, man. That's it. Yo, what you know about that real sticky?
When I look at it on a wall, I can't even bring myself to say, wow, that's nice.
Graff.
So how does it begin?
Begins with a tag. Tag's the basis to everything. That's your beginning. That's what you work off. That's your name. Tag is your name. That's who you are. That's your definition. That's what people know you as. That's your new identity in the Graff Game. So I mean, yeah, right there, the Graff Game. Just a name you like. Something that sounds appealing, something that sounds hot to you, something that you really like, something you enjoy. Something that you want to see up on the walls. Something that you want other people, not only yourself, to see. You do it for other people. I think you come up with the most innovative styles you can that's going to impress other people in the Graff Game so you get attention. Yeah, you got to come up with your own style that's unique. You gotta make people think, wow, that kid's really doing something new. You gotta come up with something creative, and it's gotta be dope. If you can get away with it a lot, then your tag is gonna be up a lot more than someone who gets caught every other tag. And they have patrols especially for graffiti. That it's a certain section of the police unit that's just out to get graffiti and nothing else. Our personal friends. Yeah, they're our personal friends at the wonderful Vandal Squad. They're known as the Vandal Squad, or VS.
As a police officer, and especially as the commanding officer of the Vandal Squad, I tend not to look at any kind of graffiti as art. I'm not an art critic, I'm a cop. And I know that when you make a mark on something that's not yours, you've committed a crime.
They're the coolest people you could possibly meet.
Did you ever do graffiti when you were younger?
No, I didn't. I know some kids that did, but I never did myself. I was exposed to it. It was probably high school. Not that much in where I grew up. There wasn't too much of it. But when I went to high school, it was out of the neighborhood. I went to high school in Long Island City, and there was a lot of it at that time. This was the mid '70s, and a lot of the kids that I hung out with did it. But I never really felt the what's they call it, peer pressure to get involved in it. They were friends of mine, but I didn't do what they did.
Their whole job in life is to arrest little 10-year-olds for writing on walls. Cool guys. They definitely take their job serious, though. I give them respect for that.
It's the grunt work, but it's important to us, and we think it's important. Graffiti's been around since the pyramids, and so we don't ever feel like we're going to be able to say, well, we don't have to concentrate on it anymore. We try to keep it to a level where, it's manageable, but it's like any other crime. It's always going to be there.
Graffiti is done all over the world. People come and travel into different places to put up their artwork in different scenes so they can get seen by a different group of people.
What's a good place to tag?
A wall. Generally where you see other tags, like in the area around it.
We feel in the NYPD that crime, of course, is our most important issue. We have to make crime as low as we possibly can get it. Right behind that is making people feel as safe as we know them to be.
If you see like one tag in 10 blocks, chances are that's not a great place to tag. But if you see like a couple tags on that block and you think they're dope, then you might as well just go throw up a tag.
And quality of life offenses, graffiti, the guys with the squeegees at the windows, the panhandlers, things like that, make people feel unsafe. They make people feel uncomfortable. They make people feel that, and especially with the graffiti, because it's the most visible. You know, it's on a wall, it's there permanently. It's not like you can take somebody and move them off a corner and they're gone. Once that graffiti's on the wall, it's permanent. And graffiti makes people feel unsafe. It gives people the impression that, at best, no one is in control of that area. At worst, the criminals are.
I think graffiti has changed a lot since back in the day. If you can remember, the trains used to be completely graffitied up, whole cars.
The subway trains were covered with graffiti. People would walk into the trains, the windows were covered, the maps were covered, the entire trains were covered. You could see people like just walking in like nobody wanted to look at anybody because they were like, you know, it's a scary environment. When I was back in the 80s, when they started to put the trains on the system without graffiti on them, we would stake them out. We would stay there because we knew that the graffiti vandals were going to want to go to those trains. We would watch as people got onto these trains without graffiti on them. They would be like, wow, you know, it's like amazing. It's like clean.
And also there's a lot of police out there to catch young riders, riders. In nicer neighborhoods, there are more cops, and they patrol the area a lot heavier. So the chances are you won't get away with it. And now you walk down a place like Madison or Park Avenue, and you won't see a single tag, just because it's that neighborhood. If you walk into places like the Bronx, there's no stopping graffiti. Graffiti is on everything. It depends on the neighborhood you're in.
What's the stick tag?
Stick tag is something like this.
I'm still at regular, cetera, cat.
Well, after the stick tag, that's your basic tag. After that, you have a girl.
Grew up with nothing but killers and OGs. I'm the product
of something like
they
that.
bag me up with a bell stash in case they snatch me up. I'm a soldier in this war and I resemble my pops. I ain't nothing like him, that's where this criminal stop. I provide for the fam, divide them grams, cook it, make flips, survival plans. Being successful, I had every intent, but I went to that high school playing the bench. We live off wick, this life I switch up strips. I was raised by the gun, so I switch up clips, getting my hustle on, trying to switch up kicks. I won't change being thug, I won't switch.
Then once you're done with the basic outline, you go like that, you add some detail. And then once you're done with that, if you were doing this with the color.
I think that for me, it's gotten quieter, and I'm getting to the end of my career, so I can look back and say, you know, it's been very different from when I started. But I still have the same love for the job. I still have the same love for the people I work with. The love for the city. I enjoy what I do, and I'm glad I do it.
Graffiti's not only vandalism, it's artwork. Yeah, it's like a big media thing, you know what I mean?
New Fat Joe, it's called Live My Life, Fat Show, Macho, Remy Martin.
My mom forgot to put him in the wash.